Blue RAM Operating Guide by Ken Lill, published in 1984 by Perkins Engineering. This program runs on the Bally Arcade, Astrocade, a console/computer system originally released and available in January 1978. This guide requires at least 16K of RAM expansion and was meant to be loaded using the 2000 baud interface built into the Blue RAM expansion. Hi, this is Adam from the Bally Alley website. I'm also one of the co-hosts of the Bally Alley Astrocast, a podcast dedicated to the Astrocade. That Astrocast has been on hiatus for over a year now, but as of right now, May 2018, we plan to have another episode available soon, maybe in a month or two. The Blue RAM Operating Guide was written for the Blue RAM expansion. I have covered this RAM expansion in a previous video. For more information on the hardware of this unit, please watch that video. I want to thank Ken Lill for writing this software tutorial, for without him, this video would not exist. Also, it is important to note that this software was archived by Paul Thacker. He went to great lengths to make sure that it was archived properly. In this video, we will be looking at version 1.0 of the Blue RAM Operating Guide, but Paul managed to archive other versions of it too, including some earlier versions. In this video, I'm leaning pretty heavily on Paul Thacker's excellent notes that he wrote when he archived the guide. The Blue RAM operating system starts out explaining the operation of the Blue RAM hardware, how to connect it, what the switches do, etc. This includes some images and animations. The later sections of the program are mostly text explaining the new commands in Blue RAM Basic. The final version of the Blue RAM Operating Guide requires 16K and is done in 4 loads, although each load is 3 separate loads, making for a total of 12 different WAV files. You can load these from your computer, or in my case, I loaded them from my phone. When the loads are done, it tells the user to turn off the tape, i.e. stop playing the archive file. It also tells the user when to turn the tape back on again. Then the program automatically senses when the new load is started. It then asks the user to wait for the load and then goes through its explanation again. In this video, I have chopped out the loading sections of the program. Why would you want to sit there and just wait for the program to load in a video? But each program load takes about 2 minutes. So to load the full program, just the loading sections, it takes the initial load and then 3 other loads. So maybe it's about 7 minutes total of a loading time, but it's broken down into different sections so you don't have to wait all at once. It took Ken Lill over 3 months to compile the tape that shows almost all of the features of the Blue RAM Basic 1.1 in real time. As Ken told me recently, he worked as much as he could on this program after work for the full 3 months that he did dedicate to writing it. Ken used Perkins Engineering Blue RAM Basic 1.1 operating guide that came with the original unit and a lot of conferring with John and Clyde Perkins in order to write his guide for Blue RAM Basic. The guide shows on the screen what each feature does, rather than the user needing to go through the manual, which can often leave the user wondering exactly what the commands do and how to use them. I wasn't sure if I was going to make a note of this in the video, but I might as well. There's no easy method to load the Blue RAM operating guide using Astro Basic onto another Astrocade RAM expansion unit like the Viper or the Little White RAM. An explanation is given in the notes that come with this program when you download it from Bally Alley, but it's not for the faint at heart and I've never tried it myself. The version of the Blue RAM operating guide that is presented in this video is version 1.0. There is a version 1.1, but I have difficulty loading it from the archive. Well, that's not quite right. It loads okay, but the material seems to repeat itself. From Paul's description of the differences between version 1.0 and 1.1, they seem to be quite minor. Since Ken Lill is a regular member of the Bally Alley Yahoo group, I decided to ask him some background information about this guide. He answered most of my questions right away. He did concede that he wrote this program 35 years ago, and so he does not quite remember everything about that time. Can you blame him? Ken used the Blue RAM keyboard, a 63-key ASCII keyboard that hooks up to the Blue RAM's ZIF socket to write the program, or the guide here. When I asked him the differences between version 1.0 and version 1.1, he said that he didn't even remember there being a second version of the guide. This entire program was written using a 16K Blue RAM and Blue RAM Basic 1.1. I had originally planned to include a basic listing of the guide at the end of this video, but it's pretty long and I don't think that anyone is actually going to be too interested in seeing it. If anyone is interested in seeing it, leave a note below and maybe I will upload it at a later date. We'll have to see. The Blue RAM operating guide was on the back of a Perkins Engineering tape. It was labeled as Blue RAM Instructions. I asked Ken what tape his program was included on, but he could not remember. For those hackers out there, I have a challenge for you. If you have a blue RAM and an interface for a printer, I would like to get a printout of Ken's complete program for BallyAlley.com. Ken says that in order to print the blue RAM basic program to a printer, you will need to have a parallel port, a Centronics printer hardware that goes into the blue RAM's ZIF socket, and of course the cables between them. I don't expect to hear back from anyone contacting me to say that they have printed this program, since that hardware is rare, and even if you have it, you need to figure out how to hook it up and use the software to print it out and things like that. But if someone does manage to go through all the effort and gets a printout somehow that looks pretty clear, I would like to scan it in and archive it to BallyAlley.com. From what I understand, Ken based his guide on this 8-page blue RAM operations manual that I'm showing right here. Unlike Bally Basic and Astro Basic, Blue RAM Basic never had a proper manual. The manuals that were created were more like addendums to the original Bally Basic manual that was released in September 1978. Besides this operations manual, there were leaflets and other guides that Perkins Engineering provided for users, but nothing was ever really put all together in one place. That is what makes Ken Lill's Blue RAM Basic Operating Guide tutorial so impressive. It walks you through most of the updates to Blue RAM Basic and gives examples that can be used by the user. Keep in mind while you're watching this video that the Blue RAM Operating Guide was originally meant to be interactive. This video, of course, is not. Therefore, as you watch this video, keep in mind that you would get more out of it if you were running it yourself. You could read the on-screen instructions at your own pace. Here, I try to proceed at a pace that many people might be able to follow. I understand that this might not be the case for everyone. If this video goes too quickly for you, then remember that the pause button is at your disposal at any time. So pause it, check it out, read what's on screen. Heck, if you want to, you could even rewind and reread it or something like that. It would be also pretty neat if at some point each one of these separate screens was made into a screenshot and put somewhere. I'm not sure if I'm going to do that, but anyone else is welcome to do that. Please do. I know that there are very few Blue RAM Basic users out there, but I do know that there are many more who are interested in understanding what that programming language is capable of doing above and beyond that of Bally Basic. Ken has done an excellent job showing users who own the hardware-software combination that is the Blue RAM and Blue RAM Basic 1.1 exactly what they are able to do with their upgraded Astrocade. I hope that you enjoy watching this video that I made of Ken Lill's Blue RAM Operating Guide. It's a rare treat to be able to present this program to you. Enjoy.